This is day 2 of our devotionals about gathering, and today we're studying from Acts chapter 2, verse 1. It says, "When the day of Pentecost arrived, they were all together in one place." When I think about that verse, I think about what happened in Acts. Jesus ascended 40 days after his resurrection. But before he ascended, he told his disciples, "Go to Jerusalem and wait." In Acts chapter 1, if you read that in verse 4, it says, "Wait for a promise from the Father." I always think about that because I wonder, did the disciples after Jesus ascended into heaven say, when is that going to come? When is he going to be back and give us a promise to the Father? I'm going to leave. I'll be back later. No, the Bible says they stayed together. Have you ever missed an important event or missed a ball game and it turned out to be the game of the century? Everybody's talking about it the next day. They say the attendance doubles at those games after it because everybody wants to say, I was there. You ever thought about that with church? If you miss church, do you ever wonder, am I missing anything? Am I missing a promise from the Father? It's so important to be together, to experience church, to wake up and go to God's house. You may say, well, why can't I just have church at home? Well, first of all, it'd be a short service. But it's also important to be together because we strengthen one another. These disciples stayed together waiting for the promise, and they strengthened one another. They say about the redwood trees that they are mighty trees. They're hundreds of feet tall, and the biggest thing about redwood trees is the root system. You would think a tree that tall would need a root that goes very deep, but their roots only go 5 or 6 feet deep. The amazing thing about the redwoods, though, is their roots go about 100 feet out in width. And what it does is when they're next to other trees, they intertwine their roots together. That's what gives them strength in the storm, strength when the high winds come, strength when the pressure comes. They are all intermingled with their roots underneath the ground, and they strengthen one another. That's what church does for us. We attend church not out of duty or desire, but because it strengthens and helps us as we are awaiting God's promise. This day, pray that you can have that attitude about church, that God gives you a promise every time you go.